Welcome back to Forspoken. In this video, I want to talk to you about some news the developers and everything have just put out on Twitter regarding not only the game demo on the PS5, but the PC system requirements. There's a week until release, and they've updated the demo on the PS5. What they've done is button mapping functionality's been added, locked on enemies that move off screen will remain locked on longer, certain text sizes have been adjusted, and there's been various technical issues that have been fixed. But there's a week until launch, and you've got people on both sides of the fence. You've got people saying, well, it's great news, it shows you that they're listening to the players, taking on board the feedback and adding things in. Then you've got the other people that are saying, well, if the demo was that bad in the first place, why release it? There's a week until launch, there was no need for an update or anything like that. They're just trying to basically clutch at straws and just keep people interested as much as they possibly can because they're nervous and they're panicking. And for those of you that are saying it's a really, really good thing that they're updating the demo, yeah, take a look at Outriders. Go back to that time for Outriders. They were updating that demo and look how bad that game was. And I'm not saying Forspoken's definitely going to fall into that same category, but there is a chance. It's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing that they're updating demos. A demo is supposed to be a demonstration of your final product, so I believe there should never be a change to a demo. You should be releasing a decent portion of the game, like in terms of what players can do to get them interested in the game, but it should also be optimized. And then talking of optimization, the PC features for the graphics API DirectX 12 Ultimate, for sound direct sound compatible device supports 7.1 audio. For the input device, DualShock 4 DualSense wireless controllers, direct input or X input compatible controller, keyboard and mouse. Graphic options, customizable resolutions, aspect ratios, graphic features, dynamic refresh rate under Windows 11, supports super wide screen up to a 32:9, then in HDR, full support, supports also HDR on Windows 11, and storage, direct storage support under Windows 11, NVMe SSD recommended. And then for the graphic options and the 32:9, it's only supported during gameplay sequences. But then looking at the system requirements themselves, across all minimum recommended and Ultra, the operating system is Windows 10 64-bit after the November 2019 update, or Windows 11 64-bit. Then into the CPUs for minimum, you need an AMD Ryzen 5 1600, an Intel Core i7 3770. Then for the graphics cards, it's an AMD Radeon RX 5500 XT or a GeForce GTX 1060. You need 16 gig RAM to play this game in 720p and 30 frames per second, but you also need at least a hard drive with 150 gig or more. So this game's installation size on PC is humongous. But then moving into recommended, a Ryzen 5 3600 or an i7 8700K CPU. For the graphics cards, an RX 6700 XT or a GeForce RTX 3070, 24 gig RAM, and that is to play in 1440p at 30 FPS with an SSD of 150 gig or more. I don't know why for recommended settings they are promoting 1440p at 30 FPS. Not many people nowadays want to play in 30 frames per second. There's a reason performance modes exist on console, so the players can buff up that frame rate to 60, or as close to 60 as possible. But then looking at the Ultra settings, Ryzen 5 5800X or an i7 12700K, that's for the CPU. Then with the graphics cards, a Radeon RX, so an AMD Radeon RX 6800 XT or a GeForce RTX 4080. The difference in those cards is insane. Literally the only thing the RX 6800 XT has going for it is the fact that it's basically a third of the price. It's just a much cheaper card, but it doesn't perform anywhere near as good as the 4080. When you're looking at the price, I think the RX 6800 XT is about £550. The RTX 4080 is a £1,300 card. So it's really, really weird that those two are there for the Ultra settings. But the memory is 32 gig, you need 32 gigabytes of RAM, and that is to play in 2160p or 4K at 60 FPS. But you need an NVMe SSD with 150 gigabytes or more of storage. So it just seems as though the game's not optimized. It seems as though the PS5 is going to be a much better option for this title, and it's just a weird port over to the PC. They're updating a demo a week before the game releases, and it's just adding a few things in and fixing some issues, and first impressions mean everything. If you've played the demo and you didn't like it, just because they're fixing technical issues, they're adding button remapping, not many people are going to return to it. At that point, you've already blown your chance. But then to come out with the system requirements and be targeting 30 FPS, requiring a lot of storage, because I believe it's 87 gig on the PS5 and then there's 150 on the PC. That's almost double the storage size of Hogwarts Legacy for Forspoken. Hogwarts Legacy is 85 gig, this is 150. But they are requiring so much. Like, this game is so demanding on the PC, it's just putting players off as well as confusing them as to why they're targeting 30 FPS and why the game requires so much. I get it, graphics and everything like that, but the game I don't think is anywhere near as big as Hogwarts Legacy. And there's other games out there that are probably going to be similar in size or even bigger in terms of their scale, and they won't require anywhere near as much storage. It just seems as though this game's not optimized for PC play at all. They've just simply ported it over so that there's another platform. And to me, it does seem as though they're really trying to grab everyone's attention, updating the demo, when it's not going to be a big difference. Their marketing's been like mids. There's been mediocre marketing. They've not really done much in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, that was a look at the system requirements for PC and the demo update for Forspoken. And what we're going to do is leave the video there. Check out this video if you want to see other content on the channel. I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.